Hey guys, welcome to another episode of El Jefe's Chop Shop. Today we're going to be working on Emily's CRV and we're going to make a whole bunch of cosmetic changes and make this thing a whole bunch nicer. So we have tail lights, light bars, a nudge bar, roof racks, side steps, brake pads and new wheels and tyres. So let's get into it. I'm going to jump into that. You guys watch the intro and a clip from the other day. So this is what we're starting with. This is Emily's 2003 CRV. We've just done all the wheel bearings on it because it was making a hell of a noise. And now we've tested the Camry wheels and tyres on this thing and that made the noise go away. So this wheel here is the noisy one. So Em's gonna get some new rims and tyres in the next couple of days. So I'll just film a quick before. And then we're also gonna try and do the nudge bar, the roof racks, the side steps, and a few other little bits and pieces, just cosmetic stuff, and make this thing a bit nicer for you. So that's where we're at. The new wheels and tyres are on and they look heaps better. I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to start up the front here and try and do some wiring for the light bar because it is quite hot outside and I'm kind of waiting for the sun to go down a little bit so that I can get a bit more shade. So here we go. These are the new wheels and tyres. So these are the first set of rims that I bought for the Camry that did not fit, but they happen to fit on the CRV quite well. So we also got the Dynamo Street H tyres for this thing because we were chasing noises. So we tried to get the quietest tyres we could, which these things are apparently pretty quiet. So since then the noise has gone away, but you can hear something else being just a little bit noisy. So I think the diff is on its way out or something needs a service. So as you can see, I've got parts everywhere, but let's start in the shade on this light bar. So the first thing we want to start off with today is this light bar. So I've got two little 4-inch light bar LEDs. So they're just King's branded, they were pretty cheap. I actually bought these for the truck, but that's not happened, so they're sitting on the shelf and we can use them. Then I've got two different wiring harnesses. So Dad gave me these. They were a spare from I think his boat or something, and he never ended up using them. So we can either use these as they are or cut them up for the parts that we require. So I don't know which one I'm going to use. I'll try and use this one because it doesn't have a box and I can put this one back on the shelf. So I'm probably going to put it on the driver's side where the battery is because there's more access just in there. But we shall see. I'll dig into this wiring, see what I'm going to do, and then we'll go from there. So looking at the wiring that I've got for the lights here, so this end goes to the existing lights, then it goes up to the relay, and then from the relay you've got power and earth, back up to the relay, then you've got your new lights, so the light bars, and then you've got a switch to turn them on or off, depending how you want to do it. Then the other section is this guy, so you just unplug your headlight, plug this in instead, plug your car half into what looks like the back of a globe there, and then this guy plugs into that loom on the floor. So it should be nice and easy, and we can get to the back of the headlight right there, so we can literally just plug this in straight there. So I'll do the rest of it and then leave that out until we have the light bars mounted and the nudge bar and stuff, and then I can plug it all in once it's all ready to go. As for the lights themselves, they've already got a Deutsch connector on the bottom of them, and I've already made up this little harness apparently, so that was in the bottom of the box, which is handy. So this plugs straight into the lights, and then that harness plugs straight into the back of this. So I may end up shortening some of this or extending some of this, but it all already plugs straight in. And then for the switch, I've got this nicer black switch which has backlight LED. So I've had a very quick look and probe with the multimeter, and in this fuse box right here there is two direct from the battery powers, so I can just use one of those instead of doing what every four-wheel drive person does and just hook it straight up to the battery, because that's the only place there's power. If you didn't know. I mean, these ones look like power and they test like power, but they require 2 minutes of forethought. So I don't know if that counts, but there is power right there. So hook up to that, and then I'm going to hook up to an earth which is just down there. There's an existing earth, so I'll hook up to that one, and then I need to mount the relay somewhere, which I'll try and do down there as well. Try and get everything nice and tucked away and make this as nice and neat as possible. Okay, there we have the power hooked up on the back there. For those that are wondering, that's what I've teed into. There's only these two wires that go there, and they come straight from the battery and go straight down to, I'm assuming, the alternator and the engine loom. So maybe fan power, I don't know, doesn't matter. We are skipping the fuse, so they're going to go straight from the battery to that. Should be constant power all the time. The earth is hooked up down in there to the existing earth, and I'm going to hook the relay up to this next bolt up. and mount that down in there. So a bit awkward, but we'll get it done. I also cut a small relief in the cover so that it still fits on around that wire. It's a little awkward to get on, but once you get it on, it clicks in nicely and covers 90% of that wire. There's still a little bit of red showing, but a whole lot neater than it could have been. So before I mount the relay, I'd like to shorten this wire up. So normally you could obviously mount your relay on the firewall or whatever, and this guy could come to the front to the light. So all I need to do is unplug the light and plug in that new section, and then that plugs into this guy. But because the relay is going to be right there and the headlight is right there, this does not need to be like 2 foot long. So I'll just chop this off and make it a heap shorter, and I've got a bunch of new connectors so I can make it all nice and neat. And I'll grab that guy, put it in, mount the relay, and then I can pick my length then. So I'll just chop that and then I'll mount this relay. It's as easy as one and done. So super easy. Now they can connect together. Instead of being 2 foot long, it's 6 inches long. So now I can plug this back onto the relay, and then we need to run the switch and the light wire. I should probably show you how to plug the other half in. So this is the back of the headlight. Just disconnect that guy, pull that apart like that, and then the male plug plugs into there, female one plugs straight into the back of the headlight, and then you just plug this into your relay. So the next bit's pretty simple. I just need to take the grill out and this top cover so I can feed the power wire for the headlights, or the high beams, or whatever you call them, down through to the bottom of the bumper. So when we put the nudge bar on, we can either come out of through the grill or through the bottom grill in the bumper. So let's get into that. That easy. So all pulled apart. Now we can feed this wire over there somewhere. So I'm just going to feed it in through here, zip tie it out of the way and get it into the bumper, and then when I do the nudge bar I can feed straight into it. So I've snuck that wire all the way through here. Can't really see it. There's a zip tie there holding it up and out of the way, another zip tie just there holding along the top of the condenser, and then sneakington, bit of tape, and tucked it into the condenser. So now we just have this plug here, which we need to adapt to a smaller size, which the kit came with. I didn't mention that before. So that just plugs into there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to mount the lights on the top or the bottom of the bumper bar. Depends where the nudge bar sits, but the plan is either of those, and this will have enough length with the adapter and the 2-to-1 and the light bar. It should be plenty long enough. So I can leave this here for now. I'll disconnect that and just tuck this guy away, and then I can put all the grill back together, and Em can drive the car, and then in a day or so when I get to the nudge bar I can finish it off. So we're back together. The main thing is you cannot tell what I've done right now. So the relay is down in there, the power runs up around the top and into the back there, which I could put a little bit of conduit on and may. So now I just need to deal with this switch wiring, which there's no hole in the firewall for it. I have a half cut up CRV around the corner and nowhere for it to go. So I'm gonna have to make my own hole, which I don't want to do, or shear a grommet, which I can do, but I'll have to look into a bit deeper. So the fuse is out obviously because I don't want it to turn on because there's no lights on it. So I'll dive into working out where this is going to go, and then I will catch you up to speed. So I've come up with a solution. So we're going to run the wire under the fuse box along this conduit that's already here. I'll just zip tie it to that, and then into the grommet back there that holds the heater controls. So I need to get the grommet off, which I've already done, and then poke this wiring through it so that it's nice and sorted. And then what I'm going to do is fish this wire through the hole, and then just tape this to the new wire, pull the hole under the dashboard, then I can put the grommet back over the heater cable, and then put it all back together. So that's probably a bit messy and jumbled, but I'll get into it and you'll see what I mean. So this is going to be pretty simple because it's already been easy. So grommet on the new cable. The new plug is just attached to this piece of random wire that I had, and then feed the wire through the hole. And if we go into the car, you should be able to see that piece of wire, which is right there. So I can pull that through, and then once it gets stuck, just don't pull on it because you'll pull the cable off of the new cable. Run around the front again, and you want to feed that new connector through the grommet hole, and then you can pull all this wire in. Finally, we've got the wire run along that other lot of conduit here, and it tucks into the grommet back there, and we've got the heater controls back together. So you can't tell that I've done anything in here other than the relay and a few little odd wires. So super happy with that. Obviously there's no light bars connected currently, but there's all the plugs and all the wiring is done for when the nudge bar is in. So I'll jump inside the car and show you what I've got in there, and then we can do the next job. So all I have currently is the wiring coming through the firewall, and it comes to this switch, which is the factory one. So to test if this is all working, make sure the relay's working, turn the ignition on, turn the headlights on, turn the high beam on, and then this switch will be off when that relay's off, and when you turn it on, it lights up because the relay is on. So that's pretty cruisy. So whether I swap this to a different switch or not doesn't really make any difference. All we need to know is that when the high beam is on, this can be turned on. When the low beam is on, this cannot be turned on. So that's mint. On to the next job. So with the light bar wiring done for now and the nudge bar I put aside, I'm going to move on to the roof racks. So if you remember the donor car that I bought from Mount Gambier that had roof racks on it, so I cut the roof off that thing and kept the roof aside with the roof racks. And then I took it all to the locksmith on the back of the truck, got some keys made for the locks on the roof racks. So now we can install the roof racks and we have keys for them. So jumping onto these roof racks, we've got to take off this little plastic cover. So you can get a trim tool in there and just pry up a little bit. There is 3 clips, one at the front, one at the back, and one in the middle. The middle one's a little tricky. If you're gentle, it'll just pop out. And then that exposes 3 threads to put in your bracket. Okay, so these are an M6x1 thread. So I just grabbed the tap and have been cleaning them up because there's a bit of powder coating, a bit of rust in there. So just chuck the thread guy in there and clean up that thread. So I'll do that off camera because I need 2 hands, and then I'll show you what to do. All right, so that's the last one tapped. So all you need to do is just thread that in and it cleans up the threads. So with that done, now I can bolt the bracket on. So these brackets have a little F stamped into them. So these are the front brackets, and the rear ones have a little R stamped into them. Emily pointed that out because I wasn't paying attention. So that sits in there like that, and then you just need to put the bolts in to hold that in place. So you want this to go across, then down, and then up. If you put it in the wrong way, it'll look like that, and that is wrong. So put it in that way. We've got the 3 bolts started, so just do them up with an Allen key, nice and firm. Then we can do the other side and clip the roof rack on. So with that bolted on, I'll move over to the other side. Okay, we got this side threaded, bolted down, got the other side threaded and bolted down. I got a little assistant, and I'm going to grab the other roof rack, pass it over to her, and we can bolt this, or clip this roof rack back on. So I got the roof rack up here in the correct spot, so you're going to make sure that this floaty tab is underneath there, and make sure this is all sitting in nicely. And then once that is done, there's a lever up the top here. Just pull that down and clip it in. So that's it. Emily's done the other side, so now we'll get the plastic cover to go over the top of here. So these are a little fiddly to get on, they're just the end of the roof rack, so you got to clip it in. Just give it a bit of a jiggle and it should clip into place. Something like that. A little smack. Then put the key in and turn it to lock it in place. Now the only thing that looks a bit strange on here is this is uncovered, so I assume you're probably supposed to cut the original one and clip it back in. I will do that or find the other ones and make something happen, but I don't want to jump to conclusions and do that right now. So with that all done and locked in place, we've just got to do the rear one. So I found the pieces that I was missing, so this is why I didn't want to cut those other ones in half. These are the factory ones that go underneath there. So I'll just take these off and chuck those covers back on. There we go, that looks much nicer. So the next job's a real simple one. We want to take this soft spare tyre cover off and put a hard cover on. So my assistant is going to take this off and put the new one on. Bit of silicone spray so the zip opens up nicely. This thing's never been off. Good thing you got those gloves on. Karate. So I've quite literally taken a seat on this one. Emily's going to get 19mm. She's going to take the spare tyre off, clean in behind there, get the leaves and stuff out, and then come back, put it together, and put the new cover on. You're so handy. How do you know how to do all these things? That's what everyone...
That wasn't because of my dad.
Oof. Father issues. We're a minute in and Emily's thrown the glove already. She's also done what I've done every time, which is undo the bolt until you think it's finger tight, put the ratchet down, and then it's not finger tight. She's learning real quick.
Make sure you apply pressure to the areas that don't have the bolt so you can get it off.
Yeah, push the wheel on to the back of the tailgate.
Oh, bye.
What was that?
One of the nuts. One of the...
You're so strong. Get all them leaves out of there. That's
Friend.
actually filthy. Is there actually any friends in there?
I don't really know. Maybe.
Friends.
Good.
Gotcha.
Yay.
I thought Emily was freaking out about me touching the leaves, but there's a red back right there. What do you reckon, Harley? She's doing a good job? She's doing a good job? Alright. Everybody says in the videos how good a dog Harley is. This is his one downfall. He has to chase the wheel and bite it. Lift with your back. Twisting, jerking motion. See, even Emily thinks gloves are annoying. And she got them voluntarily. How tight?
Yes. Tighter than your mum's. Welcome back.
It's time for the cover. Emily's
It has leaves in it.
everything has leaves in it apparently. Emily's giving it a little clean and then she put it on. So we're going to try and do some panel beating here. We've got a small dent just here and you can actually see it from the other side. So we're going to try and heat this up and push on the back and hopefully try and get that a bit smoother so at least it's not as obvious. So Emily has something there.
2000 watt heat gun, mate.
And then I have a socket to push on the nipple and a glove so I don't burn myself. So we'll give this a shot and report back in just a moment. So it's not perfect, but it's much better than it was. There's still obviously a mark there and it needs paint repair, but as far as dents go, it's a whole lot better. Let's chuck it on the car. This and the rest of the car obviously need a clean. That comes later. What you got there?
Silicone spray.
So that's it all in place. So the only problem is this seems to be quite loose. So I don't know if the other wheel on the other car was bigger or if it was thicker or something, but this doesn't fit very well. So we may try and get some foam under it and just make it fit a bit nicer for now. Also a bit scuffed up from storage and the crashed car. So that's a bit of a shame, but for now, that's what it looks like. It's a whole lot nicer than the vinyl one. So we're taking the hard cover off, put the soft cover back on, and then put the hard cover back on over the top. So the car that these came off of, the wheels are about 15mm bigger, roughly. So we probably could put some foam in there or something, make it a little bit tighter, but it's currently reasonable. So we're going to see if it annoys Em while she's driving, see if you can hear it, see if it spins or something, and then we'll sort it out another day. So with that done, that's all we're going to have time for tonight. Emily's just spraying the bumpers, try and get some shine back into them, and then we can do the other stuff another day. So Em went around and sprayed the bumpers. We're going to try and get some back to new, or black to new, whatever it's called, which will clean it all up a whole lot better, and she said she's going to wash it tomorrow. We'll see. It's a new day on Emily's car, so I'm going to try and get these side skirts on, or side steps, and then I will go onto the tail lights, and then we're probably going to have to leave the nudge bar for another day because we don't have enough time for this episode or today. So let's jump in, I'll just get it done and we'll show you the end result. Alright, I lied. The first job was to make this switch fit. So now if I turn the car on, turn the headlights on and turn the high beam on, there's still no light here, but then if I press that on, it glows orange, which the rest of the dash glows orange, so it all adds up nicely. Turn it off again, or if you leave it on and turn the headlights off and the high beam off, it all works. So pretty happy with that. So onto these side steps. So we have two side steps here. I can't remember which one's the left and the right, so I'll jump onto the car and I'll check it out. So there's a pair of braces and then a single. So I'm assuming that's the back and that's the front. which would make that one the front and at the back, so that's the other side. But we shall see. Jump under. Excuse the camera angle. If we come onto the car here, so this is the right hand side of the car. We've got the chassis rail. This is the front, obviously, so that's one set of brackets, two sets of brackets, three sets of brackets. So the two closer brackets go at the front, and then the single goes at the back of the car. So I'll just get this done and show you afterwards. This is before and after. So let's go around the other side and we'll chuck that side on. Everything's all good and happy. And I already did this side. So onto the tail lights. So the next job and the last job for this video is to change these tail lights over. So these are the pre-facelift tail lights. They have the orange on them. So open up your tailgate. It's really easy. There's two little plastic clips. So you just pop them out with a little screwdriver. One here, one up there. Two 8mm bolts, undo those. And then on the other side you've got an 8mm up here with the cover on it. A 8mm here with no cover, and a 10mm just there with no cover. So undo those, pop them out, and then chuck the new ones in, reverse the process, and we're done. There we go, all bolted up, all wired up. Swap the top globes over from clear to orange, and that's pretty much the only modification. They look heaps better, just a little bit more modern. So next I've got to do the indicators, the side indicators. I've got clear ones to go there, and I want to make up this front nudge bar with the light bars on it. But I'll probably leave that for a later day because I'm running out of time to get this video up. So I'll do that tomorrow and you guys can watch this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the CRV. That's all we've got for this thing for now. There'll probably be something in the future, but that's pretty much all the modifications we want to do right this second. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.